you're watching this video, you're probably planning a trip to Paris, but you've got limited time. You want to see the Louvre, of course, but you also want to see the lesser known side of Paris. So in this video, we're going to show you how you can experience the best of both worlds in Paris. Day 1 as a tourist and Day 2 as a local. So come, let's dive right in. So we're starting the day early at Montmartre, which is one of Paris's most beautiful neighborhoods situated at the top of the city. And we got here by taking the metro, and we stopped at the Anvers station before taking a funicular up instead of climbing the 300 steps all the way up to the top. And right on top of the hill here, we have the Sacré-Cœur Basilica, and it is such a beautiful piece of architecture here. And you know, something interesting is that the stones here actually get whiter and whiter over time. That is because it's made out of a special material, a special limestone that reacts with salt water to cleanse itself, and so it will always look clean. Up here, this is such a great view because you can see almost all of Paris from above here. Just a short walk away is Place du Trait, one of the most charming squares in Paris. It's famous for its street artists who set up their easels here every day and sell their paintings. Next, we're passing by Le Moulin de la Galette. This historic windmill is one of the last remaining windmills in Paris. You can also come to Rue de la Beauvoir for this scenic view. So we're just making our way around Montmartre now, and the guide is showing us all the different interesting spots here and the stories behind it. And quite interestingly, what's behind me here is actually one of the only last vineyards in Paris. Now, you can't just saunter up all the time. You have to go with a very special tour and during a very special season. If that's something you're interested in, I think you definitely should check it out. So after all that walking, we are currently on a little croissant and coffee break, and we are at Chez Ginette. What they usually have also is they have this thing called the Petit Déjeuner, which is like a breakfast menu.
Croissant? Deux croissants s'il vous plaît. Deux croissants. Et un café? Et deux cafés aussi. Expresso allongé?
No, espresso.
Espresso.
Okay. Also here, when you order a cafe, when you get a coffee here, they will serve you espresso. If you want specifically a latte or cappuccino, that's something that you have to specify. If not, you're getting an espresso.
Oh, it's good.
We just got off the metro and we are at the Louvre now.
We're actually entering this time from a special entrance, which is only for groups. We're on a tour with Walks Tour, so that means no queuing, no hassles with tickets, and no getting lost. And believe me, it's easy to get lost in the Louvre.
So now we are at the Louvre, and obviously no trip to Paris is complete unless you pay the Louvre a visit. But if you have time, we would highly recommend you go in. However, the Louvre is really huge because it's the largest museum in the world. So we definitely recommend getting a guide as well. It is said that if you spend just 1 second looking at every painting in the Louvre, it's going to take you literal years to complete.
So we are starting our time at the Louvre, and we're starting at the medieval Louvre. And one interesting thing is these are actually the original walls of what it used to be when it was a castle. And there's even engravings on it here, you can see. So apparently stonemasons used to engrave it last time when they were building the walls, just to mark to know who did which work.
So now we're in apparently the oldest part of the Louvre Museum. This is the part that dates back all the way to the 1500s, which is quite interesting.
Now that we've seen some of the most famous arts in the world, it's time for lunch. We recommend Le Petit Vendôme for a classic jambon beurre sandwich, which is a ham and butter and a crusty baguette. This place was actually crowned the best sandwich in the world in 2025. So if it's good enough for the French, it's good enough for you. If you want a sit-down option near the Louvre, check out Brigitte for modern French food done right. Their set menus cost €32 and comes with an entree, main and dessert. Our favorite dish was the fish. It was light, fresh, and went perfectly with the creamy sauce and the bed of wild spinach.
That's nice. So right now we are at the Notre Dame. It is still currently under restoration, but you can go inside. However, you have to definitely book before you come in, and reservations typically open 2 days before at midnight. So for example, if you're trying to come on a Wednesday, you have to book on Monday. And if you don't book, you will have to deal with the huge queues at the back. So definitely make a reservation.
Along the way, you'll pass by Sainte-Chapelle, an iconic 700-year-old chapel with one of the most stunning displays of stained glass on the inside. Next, we're hopping back on the metro to see the Iron Lady up close.
We are at our last stop. This is the Eiffel Tower behind me. And of course, no trip to Paris is complete without a visit to the Eiffel Tower, the Iron Lady.
It was a very long day of seeing every single tourist site there is in Paris. I didn't think that this would have been like achievable in a day. Like seriously, I think I could like do only half of these. And we even went into the Louvre.
We're getting the boat tickets.
Oh,
Thank you.
we're gonna take a Seine River cruise to end of the night.
Morning guys, today we are starting our day bright and early and we are at Rue de Nil, which is this little quiet street behind me. So this street is actually not as well known up until the recent years because it used to be overshadowed by the previous street, which is the Rue Montmartre. But after the opening of this little restaurant here called the Frenchies, this street has started to be populated with more shops, and here now you can find so many things. It is actually said that you could live off just this street alone because they have a fromagerie, they have a shop selling seafood, they have a butcher's shop, they even have a specialty chocolate shop and many great restaurants, and of course not to forget the boulangerie as well. This street is actually fairly small and short, so you'll probably be done with it really quickly, but fear not because we're just going to cross the street really quickly and we're going to go to Rue Montmartre, which is just opposite, and that is another great street with a lot of things to see, do and eat as well. So come, let's go.
Rue Montmartre is one of the most vibrant streets in Paris, lined with an array of cafes, restaurants and specialty shops, and here are some of our favorites.
This shop is the one I guarantee you will smell before you see it. This is one of our favorite fromageries on this street, and there's a crazy selection of cheese here. If you're a cheese lover, definitely stop by here when you're on this street. There is such a huge variety for a very good price as well. Definitely something that if you can, you want to bring it home as a souvenir, we highly recommend you to do so. You'll also definitely want to stop by this store over here. This is Tara. It is the oldest patisserie in Paris and also where the Baba Oram was actually founded. There are really great pastries in there. They have eclairs, they have macarons, they have tarte au citron, many things like that. So definitely come here and give it a try. So when you're in Rue Montmartre, make sure to stop by this street here and this shop. The shop is called Je de Tout and it has everything that you need. So they actually have two stores over here. The smaller store here, they sell foie gras, salmon, all the tin goods, and you can even bring them home mustard, things like that. And the bigger store over here is where they sell patisserie, ingredients for baking, almonds, nuts, all those kind of things, all the goodies that you can bring back as a souvenir.
After that, we'll head to two lesser-known free museums that are much quieter than the Louvre. But if you'd rather take it slow, feel free to just pick one. First up, we're headed to one of Paris's hidden gems, the National Archives Museum.
So this museum is actually housed in Hôtel de Soubise, which is an 18th century mansion. And just from the outside, you can see how beautiful the architecture is. But you know what's more exciting is what's on the inside. The inside is filled with grand salons, beautiful ceilings, as well as a lot of period details that cover the whole span of the place. And this is such a nice day today. You can see that this is really a local spot because behind me on the lawn you can see a lot of locals having a picnic with their friends. It's such a nice atmosphere to sit out here and just soak in the sun. This museum is where all of the most important French documents are held, documents that helped to shape France the way we know it is today. Some of these documents include Marie Antoinette's last letter as well as the first copy of the French Constitution. So just a short walk away from the Archive Museum, we are now at the Carnavalet Museum, which is the oldest museum in Paris, dating back to the 1880s. The Carnavalet Museum is dedicated to collecting objects that belong to well-known persons with a strong individual and collective resonance. Here you can find things such as the campaign kit from Napoleon I, as well as artifacts from the royal family as well as
Next, we're gonna join a food tour on the left bank to know where locals get their best bites from one of the city's historic quarters.
So we started off the tour strong with a chocolate stop as our first stop, and now we're at our second stop where we're at a boulangerie and we're gonna get some chouquettes as well as some baguette to have later. So far we're off to a pretty good start. The chocolate was really delicious and kind of excited to see what else we're gonna eat.
Then we're heading down Rue Montmartre, one of Paris's oldest market streets, to pick up fresh fruit and local produce.
So in France, they buy things based on the specialty store. So you kind of get your cheeses from the fromagerie, you get your fruits from the fruit store, you get your vegetables from the vegetable store, things like that. Because it's a lot fresher and the quality is a lot better there, but it might not necessarily be a lot more expensive as well. So we have some apple juice from Normandy.
This one is 7 euros.
This is so good.
We also picked up cheese and charcuterie to go with our wine at the very last stop. After all that walking, we're sitting down for a short break and a classic croque monsieur with the beautiful Pantheon in the background. And then it's time for the finale. We're headed to a wine shop opened by a former head sommelier at Le Bristol. He knows more about wine than most people know about anything, so we're sure we were in good hands. While sampling the goodies we bought at the start of the tour, we also had a crash course on proper cheese etiquette from our knowledgeable guide. To end off your trip to Paris on a high note, we're visiting Stella, a unique space-themed restaurant that's perfect if you're after creative cocktails and an unforgettable time.
Oh wow. No, that's really good.
Just look at how the cocktails are served here. This place knows how to put on a show. But Stella isn't just about looks. The food here is genuinely delicious, with an Asian fusion twist, and here are some of our favorites. One of the standout dishes was the flank steak with a spicy chimichurri sauce with mustard seed pickles. For dessert, we had the popcorn pavlova, which looks exactly like it sounds. It's a crispy meringue with a creamy filling topped with caramel popcorn.
That's so weird because it just tastes like creamy popcorn.
Next, you should watch this video where we show you 10 other amazing things to do in Paris.